Okay, so welcome back to today's lesson. Okay, so we're doing physics today, and we'll be looking at unit conversions by using what? Dimensional analysis. Okay, so yesterday we had chemistry, and in chemistry, I taught you guys how to convert units using the metric system. Okay, so today we want to know how we can convert the units, okay, by using what we call as dimensional analysis. Okay, so the use of dimensional analysis requires that we know some conversion factors. Okay, so once we have those conversion factors, it will be very easy for us to convert units, okay, by using what? Dimensional analysis. So remember, when we are using the metric system, I'll just write MS here. When you're using the metric system to convert units, okay, you are usually converting between submultiples and multiples of 10, which we are calling as prefixes. Okay, so I can have maybe 10 meters, okay, and then I want to convert these 10 meters maybe to kilometers. Okay, so you see that I'm still dealing with the same unit here, but the prefix which is in front is just the one that is different. Or I can say 5, okay, picometers. Then I want to convert this to what? To micrometers. So you see, I still have meters, meters, but there I have pico, there I have what? Micro. So when you're using the metric system, it's mostly used on the units, okay? The same quantity, but just different prefixes. Then we use the what? The metric system. Okay, so now when it comes to dimensional analysis, okay, we'll be converting, okay, units, of course, for the same quantity, okay, for the same quantity, but the units will be different. Okay, so maybe how they measure length in Zambia is not the same of how they measure length in maybe America. Okay, so in America, they may have their own units for length, and then in Zambia also we may have our own units for length. So how do we convert between those units that are using in America or the units that they are using in Zambia? Okay, so the best example is when you're looking at the weight of someone, right? So in Zambia, mostly we know the kilograms, okay? When we are measuring the weights of someone, we are going to say kgs. But when you go to America, okay, they are going to say what? Pounds. And that pound is indicated by LB. Okay, so how do we convert now from the kg to the pounds? Okay, so both units are measuring weight, okay, but they're different units. So we need what we call as conversion factors in order to be converting these units. Okay, so another example that we can convert using dimensional analysis, okay, is a measurement that has two units. So for example, remember that density had grams per cubic centimeters. So for example, if the density is maybe 1.023, okay, grams per cubic centimeters like this. And then we want to convert this, okay, to kilograms per cubic meter like that. So we see that in this expression, this measurement has two units, okay, attached to it. So whenever we see two units there, we need to use dimensional analysis to do what? To convert from one form to the other, okay? And that conversion is going to be facilitated, okay? That conversion is going to be facilitated by the conversion factors. So I'll show you a number of conversion factors later, but here let's just get the main idea of dimensional analysis. So let's say I have 10A. Let's say this A is my units, right? Then I want to convert to unit B. Okay, so for me to convert using dimensional analysis, I always have to have a conversion factor. So let's say 1A is equivalent to what? To 10B. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write this measurement here, 10A, okay? I'll say 10A, and then I'll say multiplied by, and then I'll draw a line. So in this, my conversion factor that I have, okay, the thing that has the same units as the A should go in the denominator so that it cancels out. So this conversion factor, okay, is going to be 1A equivalent to what? To 10B like this. Okay, so this will mean that when I multiply 10A multiplied by 10B, what do I get? I get 100 AB. And then when I multiply, because 10a is the same as divided by 1, if I multiply 1 multiplied by 1a, I just get 1a. So we see that on top I have a, down I have a. So they cancel out. So I just have what? 100b. So this means that 10a is the same as 100b. Okay, that's if you're converting from unit A to unit B, and you have such a what? A conversion factor there. Okay, and then what about if we have a measurement that has 2 units? Okay, so let's say I have a measurement maybe 2a per b. So let's say A and B are my units here. Okay, and then I want to convert to C per D. Okay, it means here I'm going to need 2 conversion factors. Okay, the one that converts A to C and the one that converts B to what? To D. So let's say, okay, let's say one um, 1A, okay, is equivalent to 5C. And then also, okay, 5, or let me say 3B is equivalent to 1D. Okay, so I'm going to use these conversion factors here. So I'll write this guy in this way. Okay, so 2a per b is the same as 2a divided by b. So I'm going to say multiplied by, and then I draw a line, again multiplied by, and then I draw a line. So on this one, the first line, okay, my aim is to cancel out this a. So I'll get the conversion factor that has a and c, okay? The a, I'll write it down there, and then the c, I'll write it on top, so that this a and that a cancels out. And then here, I want to cancel out the b. So in these conversion factors, okay, since b is in the denominator here the b should be what? In the numerator. So it's going to be 3b divided by 1d, like that. Okay, so meaning that we can cancel out the units that we don't want. So a cancels out with a, okay? B cancels out with b. So I only remain with 2 multiplied by 5c multiplied by what? 3. So 2 multiplied by 5c, that's 10c. 10c multiplied by 3, that would be what? 30c. Divided by, down here I have, since this one has been cancelled, so I just remain with 1. Here I've cancelled the a, I just remain with 1. And then here there's just 1d. So it means this is just d. So 2a per b is the same as 30c per d. If these here were my what? My conversion factors. So I'm just giving you a general picture, okay, of what we of how we do the dimensional analysis, okay, when we are converting the units. So now let's look at actual examples, okay, but we're just going to be using the same layout that I've outlined here. So let's start with the units for length. Okay, so there are some key conversion factors that you have to know. Okay, so you have to know that 1 inch is the same as 2.54 centimeters. 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. 1 yard is the same as 3 feet. 1 mile is the same as 5,280 feet. Okay, 1 mile is the same as 1.609 kilometers. You have to know some of these. Okay, so let's do question 1 there. So question 1, they're saying convert 5.4 kilometers to meters. Okay, so here I'm not going to use the metric system. I'm going to use dimensional analysis. So that will be 5.4 kilometers divided by 1, and then multiplied by, I put the conversion factor here. Okay, so the conversion factor that relates, okay, meters to kilograms is this one down there. Okay, we know that 1 kilometer is equals to what? 1,000 meters. So since the kilometer is on top here, I'll put the one that has a kilometer down. So that would be 1 kilometer is equivalent to what? To 1,000 meters. So that the kilometer and the kilometer cancels out. Okay, so that I just remain with the 5.4. And then this 5.4, if I multiply it by a 1,000, okay, if I multiply the 5.4 by 1,000, what do I get? Okay, so I'm going to get 5.4 and then 0.0. Okay, so divide by 1 multiplied by 1, that is 1. And then remember we had this meter that remained there, so that would be meters. So this would just be 5,400 meters. So 5,400 meters is equivalent to 5.4 kilometers. So we have converted this using what? Dimensional analysis. Okay, so now let's look at the other example. So if you have any question, just unmute yourself and then you can ask. So the other example there is convert 72 inches to centimeters. So I'm going to write 72 inches here divided by 1, and then I multiply by the conversion factor. So the conversion factor is 1 inch is equals to what? 2.54 centimeters. So the one that has the inch goes down here so that it cancels out with this one. So it will be 1 inch, okay, is equivalent to 2.54 what? Centimeters. So we see that from this diagram, the inch and the inch will cancel out. So I just remain with the 72, which I'm multiplying with the what? With the I just remain the 72, which I'm multiplying with the 2.54. So if I punch that on my calculator, 72 multiplied by 2.54, okay, centimeters, it gives me no, it gives me 177.8. Confirm on your calculators, okay, and then I have that centimeter divided by 1 multiplied by 1, which is just 1. So this will be 177.8 centimeters. Okay, so you see that the 72 inches in centimeters is the same as the 177.8 what? Centimeters. Okay, so any questions there? Okay, so let's do one more question on the length. So for example, okay, let's say they have given me um miles. Okay, they have given me miles and they want me to convert to centimeters. So let's say they have given me 10.7 miles. Okay, and then they tell me to convert these into centimeters. So when you come to the conversion factors here, you see that there's no conversion factor that relates the miles and the centimeters directly. Okay, so it means there we have to convert first to a unit, okay, that is directly linked to the centimeters. And then after that, we can find our length in centimeters. Okay, so this one here is 10.7 miles, right? I'll put it over 1 multiplied by. There is no direct conversion factor here that links the miles to the centimeters. Okay, so instead I'll look for something here that is related to the what? To the centimeters. So you see that the centimeters are related to the inches and the inches are related to the feet. And then this feet here now is the one that is connected to the miles. So I'll first convert the miles to the feet, okay, and then the feet to the inches, and then the inches to the centimeters. So that's how I'm going to move. So I'm going to say the first one here, I'm converting the miles to the feet. So you can see the conversion factor for the miles to the feet is here. So 1 mile is equivalent to 5280 feet. Okay, and then now I convert this feet, okay, to the inches. So 1 feet or 1 foot is equivalent to 12 inches. Okay, and then I can convert the inches now to the what? To the centimeters. So here I add 1 inch. What am I writing now there? So 1 inch, okay, is equivalent to 2.54 centimeters. So we're just using dimensional analysis. So you see that mile is going to cancel with the mile. Feet or foot is going to cancel with the feet. Okay, the inches is going to cancel with the inches. So the only units that I'm remaining with are these centimeters now. So I'm just going to multiply here throughout whatever I have on top there, and then I'm also going to multiply whatever I have down. So on top, okay, I can see 10.7 multiplied by 5280. Okay, 5280, and then multiplied by 12 multiplied by 2.54. So I've multiplied this one, multiplied by this one, multiplied by this one, multiplied by this one. And then down here, I just have 1, 1, 1, 1. So whatever answer I'm going to get, I'm going to write it here. So I'm going to, I've gotten 1,721,000, okay, 998.08. And these ones will be what? In centimeters. Okay, so 10.7 miles is the same as 1,722,998.08 what? Centimeters. So we've just used the dimensional analysis there to convert. All right, so let's move to talk about mass. So the conversion units for mass that you need to know. Okay, so you have to master this. There's this one that I've put here. Okay, so you can see 1 ton is the same as 1 kg, 1,000 kgs, I mean. 1 kg is the same as 100 grams. 1 pound, okay, it's the same as this amount of grams. And then 1 pound again is related to the ounces. So 1 ounce is equals to this grams. So here we've been told to convert 3.2 pounds. Okay, we want to convert this to kgs. Okay, so you see here, there's no directly uh, conversion factor that links the kgs to the what? To the pounds. So first of all, we are just going to convert these pounds to the grams. Okay, so multiplied by. So you can see there, I have pounds related to the grams, right? Okay, so I'll say 1 pound, which is LB, same as 453.592 grams multiplied by my final answer should be in kg. So now I'm converting these grams to the kg. So I'm using this conversion factor. So 1,000 grams so that it cancels out. It's the same as 1 kg. Okay. And then once I do that, I can actually cancel out. I can actually cancel out the. Okay, I can actually cancel out the same units, the ones that appear to be the same. So I'm going to say pounds, pounds goes, grams, and grams goes. So I only have 3.2 on top. We can say over 1 multiplied by 453.592 over 1 multiplied by 1 kg over what? 1,000. So this is what we have. So on my calculator, I'm going to do, okay, 3.2 multiplied by 453 point 453.592 multiplied by 1. Okay, and then I'm going to divide all this by 1,000. Okay, so when I do that, I get 1.4514944 according to my calculator, and this will just be what? Kgs. Okay, so 3.2 pounds is the same as 1.4514944 kgs. So you can just round it off to 3 significant figures. Then that will be your answer there. Okay, let's convert the other one. So the other one is straightforward because I can see its conversion factor is here. Okay, so I'm converting 2,500 grams. I want to convert them to pounds. So I'm going to say 453.592 grams. Okay, it's the same as 1 pound, LB. So we see that the grams and the grams will cancel. So I just remain with this over 1 multiplied by the 1 LB and then divided by this guy. So what I get there is approximately 5.511556, and this will be what? Pounds. Okay, so that's how we use dimensional analysis. So for the dimensional analysis one, we need to know the conversion factor. And then we arrange that conversion factor in such a way that it's going to cancel out with the units where we're coming from. And then we're just going to remain with the units where we're going. Okay, so any questions there? Okay, so let's look at time. So time is very easy because I know you guys are very familiar. So you know that 1 minute is 60 seconds, Okay, 1 hour is 60 minutes, 1 hour is 3,600 seconds, 1 day is 24 hours, 1 week in 7 days, and so on and so forth. So here we've been given 2.75 hours. They want us to change this to seconds. So what are we going to do? We're going to say 2.75 hours over 1 multiplied by the conversion factor that relates the hours and the what? The seconds. So this is this guy. So I'll write the line. So 1 hour is the same as 3,600 what? Second. So this here, we can just multiply now. So 2.75 multiplied by 360, what's that now? 3,600. So I'm getting 9,900 seconds. Okay, because this hour and this hour is going to cancel. So I'm just remaining with the what? The 9,900 seconds. Okay, and then the other one there, we're just doing the opposite of what we are from doing. We are converting from the seconds to the hour now. So I have 1, 5, and then 4 zeros, seconds. I want to convert them to the hours. So I'll divide by 3,600 second, and then this will be equivalent to 1 hour. Okay, so I'm just using this conversion factor here. So I'm going to say second and second, they cancel out. So I just remain with this guy multiplied by the hour divided by this. So I can cancel out some of the zeros here. I can say this 0 and this 0 cancels out with this 0 and this 0. But if you want, just punch it direct onto the calculator. Okay, there's no problem. So this will be 1,500 divided by 36. Okay, so 1,500 divided by 36, it's going to give me 41.6667. And this will just be what? Hours. So we have converted from the seconds to the what? To the hours. Okay, so those are the examples concerning time. And then let's do some examples concerning volume and area. So concerning volume, okay, the most important or common conversion factors are these ones that I've put here. Okay, so you have to at least know these. So 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 milliliters. 1 milliliter is the same as 1 cubic centimeter. Okay, 1 gallon is the same as 3.78541 liters. 1 quart. Okay, they like asking a question about the quart. So 1 quart is the same as 0.946 what? Liters. So let's convert whatever we've been given there. So I've been given 3.5 liters. I want to convert to milliliters. So I'll say this over 1 multiplied by the conversion factor. So the conversion factor from liters to milliliters is what? It's this guy here. So that is 1 liter is equivalent to 1,000 what? Milliliters. So we're going to cancel out liter and liter. Then we multiply whatever we are remaining with there. So if I multiply 3.5 multiplied by 1,000, I get 3,500, and this will be what? Milliliters. So 3.5 liters is the same as this guy here. So using this conversion factor. Okay, what about B? Question 8, I mean, not B. So question 8, they're saying convert 2.2 gallons, okay, into liters. So I'll say multiplied by, so 1 gallon, okay, is equivalent to these liters. So 3.78541. So this I'll say divide by 1, cancel out the gallons. So I just remain the 2.2 multiplied by this guy. So the answer that I get there will be 2.2 multiplied by the 3.78541. Okay, so when I do that, what do I get? Okay, so that one gives me 8.32 and then 7902, and this one will just be in what? In liters. So this was liters, right? Yeah, so this is liters. So actually, okay, confirm the answers that I'm finding here. So try to punch them on your calculator as well to see if you're going to find the same answers. Okay, what about area? So area you must know the following conversion factors. These ones that I've written down here. Okay. And the others, we are going to be learning them as we revise through the test papers, the quiz papers, and the tutorial sheets. So this one, the first one, they're saying convert 2,500 squared centimeters. Okay, I convert them to what? To squared meters. So the conversion factor between squared centimeter and squared meter, okay, is what? Is this guy here. So that will be 10,000 in the denominator, squared centimeter, same as 1 meter squared. So this guy and this guy is going to cancel. So I just remain with this, multiplied by this, and then divided by 10,000. Okay, so when I do that, what do I get as my answer? Okay, so I'm getting, according to my calculator, 0.25 meter squared. Okay, so that is the answer there. So any questions there before we solve question 10? Okay, so if there are no questions, let's try to solve question 10. Okay, let's try to solve question 10. So question 10, they're saying, okay, question 10, they're saying convert 0. Hey, what happened to this pen? 0.75, okay, acre. We're converting this to meter squared. Okay, so what is the conversion factor from acre to squared meter? Okay, so I didn't put it here, okay, but the conversion factor for that is simply 1 acre, okay, is equals to 46.86 meters squared. So this is just going to be 0.75 acre, okay, over 1 multiplied by, and then the conversion factor now this one. So it will be 1 acre, and then on top I'm going to write 46.86 meters squared. So meaning that the acre and the acre are going to cancel, and then I multiply whatever is going to remain. So once I do that, I'm finding 30 point, okay, so 30 point, not 30, but 3,000, 35.145, and this will be, this one should be 5 at the end, and this will be squared meter like this. Okay, so any questions there? Okay, so if there are no questions, let's look at these ones. So these ones will be our last ones. So we are converting speed, we are also converting density. So these ones here have 2 units. Okay, so you can use the conversion factors separately if you want, or you can just use the ones that I've written down here. So the first one, they're saying convert 55 miles. Okay, convert 55 miles per hour to meters per second. So the miles relates to the meters. The hour relates to the what? To the second. So how are we going to convert that? Okay, how are we going to convert that? So the miles, okay, we can see that here the miles are connected to the kilometers. Okay, and we know that the kilometers are the ones that are connected to the what? To the meters. Okay, so I'm going to write this as 55 miles divided by 1 hour. So to convert these miles to the meters, I'll first convert them to the kilometers using this conversion factor. So that will just be, okay, line. Since the miles are on top, I'll write them down here. And then on top, I write 6, I write 1.609 kilometers, okay? And then multiplied by I want to convert this miles, remember, to meters. So here it means I've converted to kilometers. And then now I convert the kilometers to the what? To the meter. So I know that 1 kilometer is the same as 1,000 what? Meters. Okay, so it means here I'm done converting the miles to the what? To the meter. What is remaining is the time. So I'm converting from hours to the what? To the second. So multiplied by, I'll write a line. The hour is in the denominator. So here I'll put it on top. So that will be 1 hour. It's the same as 3600 what? Seconds. And then I can cancel out the common units. So miles and miles cancels out. Okay. Kilometer and kilometer cancels out. And then again, the hour and that hour cancels out. So I've remained with 55 over 1 multiplied by 1.609 over 1 multiplied by 1000 meters over 1 multiplied by 1 over 3600 what? Seconds. So I can multiply all this and divide. I'm going to get my meters per what? Per second. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do there. So when I multiply whatever is on top here, 55 multiplied by 1.609 multiplied by 1000. Okay, and then I divide by 3600. Okay, what I'm getting is 24. Okay, 24.58. Round it off to 2 decimal numbers. Okay, and these will just be meters per second. Okay, so we've managed to convert from the miles per hour to the meters per second using dimensional analysis. Okay, what about question 12? Question 12 is very simple because they are saying from the meters per second to the kilometers per hour. So 20 meters per second. Okay, I'm converting to the kilometers per hour. So I'll multiply by this conversion factor here. Okay, so that will just be 1. Okay, 1. Or maybe I just use the raw data. So I know that I'm converting from the meters to the kilometers, seconds to the hour. So to convert these meters to the kilometers, okay, I'm going to say 1000 meters is equivalent to 1 kilometer. So that this meter and meter cancel, and then multiplied by, okay, 3600 seconds is equivalent to 1 hour. So that this second and that second cancels out. So meter and meter cancels out, second and second cancels out. So I have 20 multiplied by this divided by 1000 hour. Okay, so what do I get? Okay, what do I get there? So if I punch this on my calculator, I'm getting 72. On top I have kilometers and then down per what? Per this hour, like that. So 20 meters per second is the same as 72 kilometers per what? Per hour. Okay, what about the density? Okay, we're just applying the same rules. So the density, its conversion factors, I've written them there. Okay, so you can use them directly if you want. So there I've seen 0.92 grams per milliliter. So I want to convert this to kgs per cubic meter. Okay, so I'll say, let me write this one here as 0.92 grams over what? Milliliters. Okay, and then I'm just going to say multiplied by, first I convert the grams to the kilometer, or to the kilogram, I mean. So 1000 grams is the same as 1 kilogram. Then multiplied by line. I want to cancel out this milliliter. Okay, so how many milliliters make a cubic meter? Okay, so remember, milliliter is the same as, okay, milliliter is the same as cubic centimeters, like this. Okay, so now how many cubic centimeters, okay, make up a cubic meter? So if, for example, I have 1 meter cubic, oh no, just 1 meter. This 1 meter is the same as 100 centimeters, right? So now if I cube this side, I also cube this side, I'm going to have 1 meter to the power 3 is the same as this 100. I multiply it, okay, by itself 3 times. What am I going to get? Because that's 100 to the power 3. So I get like 1 million here. Okay, so 1 million cubic centimeters. So this milliliter is the same as this. So this simply says that 1 cubic meter is the same as 1 million milliliter. Okay, so that's the ratio that I'm going to use for the milliliters. So I'm just going to say 1 million here, and this will be milliliters over the cubic meter. So 1 cubic meter like that. Okay, so from there, I can just cancel out the common things. So the gram and the gram is going to cancel. The milliliter and the milliliter is going to cancel. So if I multiply now this, multiply by that, divided by 1,000, okay, what do I get? So from this 1,000, I can cancel out 3 zeros, cancel out 3 zeros. So 0.92 multiplied by a 1,000 there, okay, just gives me 920 kilograms per cubic what meter. Okay, so that's the answer there. And then we look at the last one, which is question 14. Then I have an assignment for you guys that you can practice. So this one is 54 grams, okay, per cubic centimeters. I want to convert this to kilograms per cubic meter. Okay, so there I want to use, I just want to show you how to use this conversion factor here. Okay, I want to show you how to use this conversion factor. So I'm just going to say, okay, this one, since it has 2 units here, I'll write it like this. So I write it the way it is. So 5.4 grams per cubic centimeter. And then I say multiplied by, then I draw a line. So here I know that 1 grams per cubic centimeter is equivalent to, okay, 1,000 kgs per meter cubic. So I just cancel out this, and then I multiply 5.4 multiplied by this. Okay, I get 5,400 kilograms per what? Per cubic meter like this. Okay, so that is the final answer there. Or if you want, you can go step by step converting the grams to the kilograms and the cubic centimeters to the cubic what? Meter. All right, so any questions there, guys? Any questions on whatever I was saying here? Okay, so if there are no questions, I'll end here. Okay, so meaning at 19 hours, you're going to have biology with Tutor Fortune. So don't miss that class. It's going to introduce you guys to microscopy. Okay, so you're going to talk about the type of microscopes that is there. What is microscopy? Uh, how is it useful? Okay, especially for those who are going into health programs, like you're going to do medicine, you're going to do all these medical related programs. Don't miss that class. All right, and then I have an assignment for you, which is this one here. So you can just take a screenshot, okay? Try to convert these ones. So meaning that you have to find the conversion factors for these ones here. So I didn't give them here in the video. I want you guys to try and look for them. So try and look for the conversion factors and then convert whatever I've written there. Okay, and then once you do that, you can WhatsApp me your answers on that number there. I've put the number there. Okay, so that I correct you if you are doing the correct thing, or if you're doing the right thing, I commend you. Okay, so that's where we end for this lesson. Thank you so much for attending.